Yo, what's up? I am Brian from Obey the Gamers, and I'll bring you the Season 3, Episode 2 review for The Walking Dead. Alright, this episode is called Sick, and, well, I can already imagine why Herschel is, is trying to survive the infection slash cut from Rick. But yeah, let me just break it down from the beginning. Alright, we start off with where we left off in Episode 1, Rick cutting off Herschel's leg to stop the infection from spreading, and well, they meet the prisoners, 5 prisoners actually. Even though in the comics originally it was 4, but 5. Let's just add extra one for fun. Anyways, they take Herschel back to the cell block. The prisoners follow them to the cell block, and Daryl stops them from going any further. T-Log comes out to figure out what's happening, and Rick was going with Glenn, but Rick told Glenn to stay behind in case Herschel does die, and to be with Maggie and her sister in case Herschel dies. So Rick goes alone to see what's happening. The prisoners are trying to find out why Rick's group is there. And Rick is wondering how they were able to survive. So Rick tells them that it's better in the prison than it is outside, and the prisoners tell Rick that they have food in the cafeteria that it would last them 10 months. Yeah, they survived 10 months. So Rick decided that they will help them out, clear a cell block for them, and in return they want half of the food supplies the prisoners had. At first, the leader was like, maybe, and then he just decided, okay, fine, we need a place to live. So yeah, they all go. Rick first goes, gets the food, then come back and cell block with it, and then they go to the cell to clear the cell block. Rick, wow, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Rick goes with T-Dog and Daryl and the 5 prisoners to clear the cell block. On their way there, one of the prisoners got scratched by one of the zombies, and they were determining whether it was going to be infected or not, and he was saying no, I'm alright, but Rick was definitely doubting that. But then the leader of the prisoners just fucking butchered his head horribly, like murdered him horribly. Anyways, continuing on. Oh yeah, before I continue, the way that they were fighting before, they were fighting as they were actually humans. The zombies were humans, like still alive. And everyone knows that you need to headshot them to kill them, and they weren't they weren't doing that, which made me laugh horribly. Anyways, continuing from there, they finally make it to the cell block. Rick tells the prisoner's leader that he needs to open one of the doors, only one, so that zombies can come in one at a time, or 2 at a time at least. Instead, he opens both doors, letting a herd of zombies come in, and in the process of everyone trying to kill the zombies, the prisoner's leader is trying to kill Rick, trying to machete his head off and threw a zombie at him. And after all the zombies were dead, the prisoner's leader said, "Shit happens." Shit happens, man. Well, Rick didn't take that lightly. He says, "Yeah, shit happens," and machetes his head, kills him like that. So yeah, to make sure that no one reacts, Taro and T-Dog got 2 of the prisoners on the floor with their head up, and one of them, which I believe was Alex, tried to run away. Rick follows him to make sure that he doesn't try to retaliate or doesn't try to do anything stupid later in the future. And as they were running, they run into the basketball court, I believe, where Alex is looking around and realizes there's a bunch of zombies. And Rick realized that before he even stepped outside the door, runs back in, locks the door, and Alex is stuck outside. I say think it's Alex because it really does simulate. It really does seem like it's Alex to me, that kid. But it doesn't really matter who he is, because he dies anyways. Or at least we think he dies. I don't know. We're going to have to see about that. So Rick goes back to where T-Dog and Daryl is holding the two other prisoners. The two are, one of the prisoners begging for his life not to kill him. The other one just says, do what you have to do. And so Rick decides to let them both live. Let them live in that cell block that they cleared. And just leave them there. And T-Dog just tells him that it's better to be in the cell than it is to be outside. Because they were telling them how that was horrible what they were watching. There was like dead bodies like in every cell block. So yeah. After that we go back to Rick's group where we see Herschel die because his heartbeat stops. Lori comes out of nowhere, saves Herschel by doing CPR and mostly CPR. I was about to say something else, but I forgot. Anyways, I thought he came back as a zombie there because it looked like he was biting her lips off. Yeah, but no, it was just him breathing. Luckily. And then we have a Rick and Lori moment. Then we see Rick separating from Lori a bit more again. And well, oh yeah, and apparently someone's stalking the group because in one part of the scene, I think it was Carl. Carl is her name. Yeah, she goes outside to like operate on one of the zombies, and someone is stalking her. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see later. Anyways, so yeah, that's basically the whole episode. What was interesting for me in this episode is that Lori is actually having a hard time in the group. I mean, in the comics, I think she was like one of the ones that was like least worried. I think only worried about her son and Rick mostly, which is a lot of stress. But here's like Rick and Carl are just not giving a fuck about her. So yeah, I really want to see how that works out for her. And another thing interesting is that we didn't see Andrea Machoni. I can't even say her name. I never really learned it. We didn't see them today, which sort of made me sad. But apparently they're gonna have a episode of their own next week, which is really interesting. And when I saw Herschel come back, I'm like, I knew it. Herschel can't die. He's their food supply. He's gonna need to be there when Lori gives birth. And well, I'm going to give a little spoiler here for anyone who's like recently just reading the comics for some reason. So yeah, in the comics, Herschel. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm thinking. Not Herschel, but Dale and Aden both got bitten, and both of their legs got cut off by Rick. And well, Aden died because of blood loss, and Daryl lived. So that really got me confused on whether Herschel was going to live or not. And plus, not only that, but in the process, in the comic, Rick starts losing it a little bit. Like, you start seeing changes, like his leadership is starting to like change his mind because it was too much for him. And you're seeing that too in the series. Like in episode 1, you're seeing how he's been more stressed out. You're seeing how he's like more worried. And in the season finale of season 2, you see him finally putting down some rules, man. And that's actually a change of character for him too. But yeah, if Herschel were to die in this episode, then there will be no one else to take leadership. No one else to like take that leadership away from Rick, at least for a while. Because in the comics, there was this guy named Tyrese, which I thought was that guy who got scratched by the zombie, that one prisoner, because he was like with the hammer and fucking killing every zombie. And I'm like, holy shit, this is Tyrese. No, it wasn't. He died. Or it was, and they just like mocked me by killing him right there. But anyways, it was Tyrese, Dale, Herschel, and Rick that started a 4 people rooting the group thing, so that they can take some of the leadership away from Rick, so he doesn't get too stressed out. if Herschel would die, that means Rick would be completely alone, dealing with that leadership. And wow, I would have loved to see how that turned out, but no, Herschel lives, and that's pretty good for me too. In the next episode, we're going to see Andrea and Michonne there. That's going to be interesting because I want to see how this plays out. Because we never really get to see much of Woodsbury as that we should have in the comics. And now that Andrea and Michonne's there, I can't wait to see what they have in there, man. So yeah, sorry if this review wasn't so good. It is my first one after all. I'm gonna start getting better at it more and more. But thanks guys, thanks for hearing me out and watching this. Hope you stick with me for this whole half season, and yeah, this was a good episode overall. Leave in the description how you think the next episode is going to be and how you thought this episode was. Leave a like, favorite, and subscribe, please. And that'll be all. Don't forget that this channel isn't only about... Oh, I never explained that this channel isn't only going to be about reviews. It's also going to be about gaming. So yeah, expect some Let's Plays and montages probably coming out soon. Walking Dead games coming out too. Can we talk more about The Walking Dead? Alright then, guys. I want to say peace out and enjoy your night / day / afternoon / wherever you are. Goodbye.